I'm redeploying nearly 1,000 members of the New York State Police, MTA Police, and MTA National Guard to conduct bag checks in the city's busiest transit stations. You'll start seeing them at the tables, making sure that weapons are not being brought in, working in concert with our New York State Police, as well as our NYPD. Because no one heading to their job or to visit family or to go to a doctor appointment should worry that the person sitting next to them possesses a deadly weapon.
National Guard troops patrolling the CTA. It's an idea being floated after New York's governor deployed troops this week to New York City's subway system.
Tonight, the president of the CTA Workers Union tells CBS 2 the union supports a similar move here.
Yes, we do need something like that because riders and the workers, especially the workers, they need to feel safe if they're performing their job. The police got their hands tied with everything that's going on in the city. So any assistance is more than welcome.
Now to a live look into downtown Pittsburgh, where changes are coming today to the Pittsburgh Bureau of Police.
Officers will only respond to 50,000 calls per year, and dispatchers will assign the other 150,000 reports per year that don't require an in-person response by officers to an online reporting unit and telephone reporting unit. What this means for you is you'll still have officers respond if there's a possible suspect there, someone needs medical help, domestic fights, and calls with evidence. And 740 officers are currently operating in the department, and 41 more are training right now. So Pittsburgh Police Chief Larry Scarrato says 27 officers will cover the night watch now.
We are learning a man allegedly tied to several murders and on a most wanted list in Columbia was arrested in New Braunfels. Right now, he is in federal custody. So here's the very latest. That man being identified by law enforcement as 29-year-old Aberdeen Segundo Pidella. According to authorities, he was on Interpol's and the Columbia National Police's most wanted fugitive list. Well, sources telling the News 4 I-Team he was tied to at least 4 murders and wanted out of warrants out of Bogota, Colombia for homicide, drug trafficking, and extortion. Again, he is in federal custody. Tonight, there are still some unanswered questions, though. It's unclear when he came into the United States or exactly where he's from. We also don't know how long the 29-year-old was actually in New Braunfels prior to his arrest, but we do know that he was picked up following a traffic stop.
So we got National Guard troops being deployed in New York subway system because the crime has risen. You got the union president of the subway system, the CTA in Chicago, calling for National Guard troops. See stories out of Pittsburgh that they're cutting down their police force to 25 police patrolling the whole city in Pittsburgh. You know, it's not the biggest city in the country, but it's big enough to support 3 major sports franchises. We'll look up the population of Pittsburgh here in a minute, but it's not that many to patrol a whole city the size of Pittsburgh. Went to school in Pittsburgh. I got friends in Pittsburgh. I know people that travel to Pittsburgh on a daily basis. So then you take the illegal migrants coming across the border, gang members coming across the border. Not all of them, but just by the sheer numbers, you let in who knows how many, but estimates 9 to 12 million. But you got 9 to 12 million, not including all the gotaways, and you're just added to the problem because we deal with crime anyways in the United States, but piling something onto it, adding more people onto already the problem that we have, that it doesn't help. It's like pouring gasoline on a fire. Seeing a crime wave across the United States, and then you got some of these DAs letting people off and letting them out when they should be kept in there in a lot of cases, and they go out on the streets, commit more crime. So you're just adding fuel to the fire, in my opinion. I'm not saying this is going to happen, but you might see all across the United States this National Guard troops on the streets in an election year, and it just makes you wonder. It makes you wonder if they're doing all this on purpose. So you might see this go across the whole United States. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not predicting it's going to happen, but all I'm saying is that you're already seeing it happen in New York, calling for it in Chicago, cutting the police force down because of the numbers in Pittsburgh. Not going to help the situation. It's going to make crime already rise in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh ain't the safest city in America. So cutting down the patrols, cutting down the police. Some people call for defunding the police, then the crime goes up, and then people call for this type of stuff. It's a form of tyranny if you can't even go ride the subway and they're checking your bags and they're telling you not to even ride the subway without giving them permission to check your bags. I mean, is this what we're coming to in this country? Yeah, my answer is yeah, and it's going to continue. You're going to see the crime continue to rise when you're letting all this stuff go on, calling for all this stuff as far as defunding the police. You're letting illegals come in the country with no vent and nothing, don't have no idea these people criminal background, and put these policies into place. Not everybody coming across the border is your upstanding good citizen. Just by the numbers alone, you're going to have some people in there. You put 9 to 12 million people, whatever, it changes every day, constantly rising. Just by the mere numbers, you're going to have some bad apples in that batch. And then that's not including all the gotaways. So you're letting crime rise, and in many cases across the country, a lot of people are breaking the law, and you're letting them out the next day. When you're creating a problem, and your solution to the problem is to put National Guard troops across the U.S. Problem, reaction, solution. They create the problem, people react to the problem that's going on. Their solution is to gain more control or to put National Guard troops on the streets and act like they're the heroes. So I don't know. I think you're going to continue. I'm not guaranteeing anything. I'm just saying you're seeing it all across the country, and you're going to have more people call for some type of security like this when the crime raises in cities all across the country. The solution they're offering right now is to deploy National Guard troops in New York, Texas. They're calling for it in Chicago, and they're going to be calling for it in Pittsburgh here in a minute. When you only have that certain number of officers at night in a city that's already has a bad crime rate. Problem, reaction, solution. That's their answer. And we'll see where this takes us. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but you can see their reaction from it. So, but you can see easily how it's playing out. My name is Isaac for SE Wolverines. Thank you for clicking on the video, and God bless. SE Wolverines!